What's up, YouTube? This is your girl Diversify, and I am with my sis Klassyk.
Hi, no makeup day.
We're cooking in the kitchen, so we're collaborating today with both our channels, and we will leave the link to both channels down below. So right now she's prepping the kitchen. My sister is vegetarian, and she's become this awesome chef. Excuse how I'm looking. Like, we just literally are just up in the kitchen. It's Sunday, getting ready to spend some time with the family. And so my sister is going to show all the stuff that she does in preparing her, as I call it, mock meat, which is basically like seitan. It's because she's a vegetarian. She doesn't eat meat. So therefore, she's going to show us exactly what she does. All right, Kenya. So I guess basically the first thing is for her to show us exactly what ingredients that she's using. So I'm going to flip the camera. I think I can. And maybe not. But anyway, let it go.
All right. So the primary source of this meat product, this no meat product, or the seitan is what we're going to create, is your Vital Wheat gluten, which we use about a cup of that. So it'll be just me and Keisha eating it today. So we got a cup of that, which we are going to have our dry ingredients here, our wet ingredients back there, and then we're going to bring it all together to have this awesome, no harmed animal in the process of a very tasty product. So
Savory.
yes. Okay, so Vital Wheat gluten, we did a cup of that. We're gonna take some nutritional yeast and like I'm working in like we're working with the seasonings ingredients that's here at the house. So yeah, normally I keep it basic with just like garlic seasoning, onion powder. My go-to herb is thyme, which we don't have any of that today, so we'll be doing thyme. So we'll be doing a substitution with the green will be oregano.
Now let me give you a little background. Like, I dibble and dabble with being
Dry ingredient. Now I'm doing my
nutritional
half
yeast.
a cup of nutritional yeast.
I dibble and dabble with vegetarian vegan lifestyle, and as she always says, sis, you introduced me to this, and I'm like, okay, so I need to get back on my bandwagon. So by I'm just so washed out this morning. So by watching her do this is what I'm going to start prepping for me and the wife at home. So okay, Kenya, go right ahead.
So the Vital Wheat gluten and the nutritional yeast are pretty much the only two products that I do measurements on.
What is this right here? Garlic.
Yeah, so we'll do like what we're gonna do as far as the water, what we have boiling, about 1/3 cup of water, about 1/3 of the pot of that I put water in the pot. You know what I'm trying to say, and
A third cup of water. Bring it to a boil.
yeah, and then you'll cut it down to a simmer because once we get everything mixed together, we'll simmer it for about 45 minutes to an hour.
Now, all these ingredients, is this something that you normally use?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, as she stated, she has the nutritional yeast. She has the Vital Wheat gluten. Now, she brought these products this morning from Kroger's. You can buy them at other locations that are a little more, not as expensive.
I can't find a knife. All I'm finding is a hatchet. Really?
Then she has this Country Bob's all-purpose sauce, steak, chicken, and fish.
Normally, I use liquid smoke.
Normally she uses liquid smoke, but today, because you have to use what is available to you in your location, which we both are from Hot Springs, but we've both relocated, so we're here visiting family. She has Worcestershire sauce. She has bay leaf. She has a bulb of garlic, soy sauce, then your regular ingredients, lemon pepper, garlic powder, any kind of seasoning that you want, onion, Cajun, paprika, she said gives it a smoky flavor, and extra virgin olive oil. Yeah. Okay, so what's next? All right. And we're going to experiment because she said we could do like it as if it was fried chicken. We could do it like if it's a steak. What else can you?
You can do burgers, you
can do
sausage. It can take on
anything that's like a meat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's one thing. What got me on this kick was looking for that savory, meaty type. Well, I'm gonna take some onion, about that much because it's gonna go in the water just for flavor.
So right now you just have the water boiling, and you have the piece of onion, and then this is the garlic.
1 clove.
One clove of garlic.
And then we're just gonna kind of like season the water. You just season it to taste because you're gonna taste it to see if it's up to par. So that's just a little bit of.
So the example she gave was like if you make greens, like collard greens or any kind of greens, how you make them. Like, by the way, my daughter made these. That's gonna be for dinner today. I'm spilling water all over the place. But anyway, it's just like if you just basically bringing your flavoring your water before you actually put your product in so it'll soak all that flavor up.
And like bay leaf is like, you don't want to get caught sleeping on this because between thyme, I say it different, thyme, and bay leaf, oh my God, it bursts the flavors.
Yeah, bay leaf is also known to bring prosperity and financial gain in your home.
Shit, I need to throw a couple of them bitches up in there.
Yeah, it's just a little insider. So it's always good to have bay leaves in your home.
So I am just seasoning this water. The soy, like you want to,
So you really don't, you kind of measure it to taste instead of like measuring it like, oh, except for your dry ingredients.
right.
Because your dry ingredients, and this is what you said, how long will this last for you?
Oh my God, like a cup of this will stretch out. I can at least, first, depending on what my appetite is, I try to consume more of the raw green stuff, but I can make a batch of this just with the 1 cup of nutritional, with the Vital Wheat gluten and nutritional yeast, a half cup. And this will last me, I can get a good easy 3 weeks, if not more out of it, just depending on what my taste, my palate is calling for.
Okay, so, and this is just a single serving, correct? But it's just gonna be this is a single serving that'll last you for that time frame.
Right.
But today we're cooking this because it's for more than one person.
Right. Like if I had to get the whole bag here today, I literally could have stretched it for 2 months easy or more by myself.
So when you store it, do you store it like you freeze it? You always freeze it to keep it fresh?
But if I know how I'm gonna, like if I meal prep and kind of do a menu in advance, then I'll just store it in the refrigerator because for me it's good for it's usually gone in 5 days anyway, within a week, the way because I try to cook everything. But yeah, you can freeze it. One thing I like to say when I'm doing sausages, when I'm making like mock sausages and stuff, the trick there is that it's the same process you're going to see here today, but once you get the dry and wet and your seasonings and stuff, I'll take tin foil and roll the product up in that and then steam it, and then once it cools down, in the freezer, and I'll like do my separation and everything.
And for those who don't know what tinfoil is, and it just tells you that you're from the South, and which we are, people in other places call it
This is some
aluminum foil.
That is not fucking liquid smoke. This ain't no. I got bamboozled. Like that's all right. The paprika is gonna.
So when she bought, she thought it was like a form of liquid smoke, but it's really like it's just like a sauce, really.
Hell yeah! But it's an all natural product. There was no animal products in it, so we're gonna go with it.
That's what's up.
All right.
You always can, it's called inventing.
Yeah. We'll see what we come up with.
But in the place of that, for most people that need to know, she normally uses liquid smoke.
Yeah. I'm working what I got. And then I do add like a little oil because even like for a binding process and your fats, your good fats.
Like where most people may use eggs for binding, this is going to help bind it, correct?
But I think, even with like even if you were to just like one time I was balling on the budget and all I had was some Vital Wheat gluten and some yeast, and I did my little mix and I didn't even boil it like for 45 minutes to an hour. I just straight fried it. The stuff was still good.
She has become such a vegetarian chef.
Okay. So you can kind of.
Yeah, you can smell.
And so once that onion.
How did that make it taste?
I put a little bit too much oil in it, but I gotta add some salt. Like I said, it's hard when you're working in somebody else's kitchen, because I don't know where they salt and pepper is.
And I don't either.
But that's alright, it's still gonna turn out good. I use pink Himalayan salt at home.
Good stuff, good stuff.
Yeah. and fresh ground pepper. It does the trick every time. Girl, I don't even know.
Now the pink Himalayan salt, it has many awesome properties. But I also tell people, if you can get that pink crystal, which I think it comes from the same thing, the crystal rock, and you have it in your home, it is known to get rid of like negative energy, and it's supposed to bring you like positive energy. So they're like, you can see them, you can find those things everywhere, but it's like a big pink crystal, but it's a salt crystal, and I want to say that that's where the pink Himalayan salt comes from.
Girl, I don't know what
Because they're the same color, they look the same, but I will do some research on that. So what you did is, you're just basically making sure that the water is seasoned for good flavor before you add your dry ingredients.
This is more like the brine, and then we got to do the same for the season and taste for the
dry.
for the liquid that's going to go into
the dry.
This is
Okay.
a brine that I'm creating over here.
Okay, so she said that's a brine, which is the boiling water. She's getting it good to taste. And then she's going to also do the same thing when she adds the wet ingredients before she mixes the dry ingredients. I am really learning something. You know, at this point in life, so much is going on that it's eventually, people who say they can't go without meat will learn that it's going to become a process that you may just have to go without meat.
Girl, can you reach that? There's some smoke right there. It's like that black, that. Can you reach that?
Which one? Is it in this box?
Like this one here.
You got it? Oh, that is some smoke. That's what you call out.
I'll tell you how old it
Cut,
is.
look.
Guess what?
That's what you call pulling it out the cabinet, honey. How it smell?
Smoky.
She found some smoke, y'all. It's smoking. It's going down. So now she's still doing the briming, as she calls it, testing the water. Did that make it do any better?
Once that the onion
And the garlic
starts infusing,
Mm-hmm.
it'll it is what it is.
So you know, on your channel, you do a lot of motivational talking. Have you ever thought about doing like cooking in the kitchen with Kenya?
Yeah.
You know, especially since you've taken on a whole new lifestyle change. And how long have you been vegetarian now?
Over a year, faithfully.
So, starting off being a vegetarian, what do you think was the hardest for you to stop eating? Like, what did you miss, or what do you still miss? Well, you probably don't miss anything now that you're actually, you know, working with different things to take the place of meat. But when you first started, before you really had all of this knowledge, what did you miss the most?
Man, I guess fried chicken, and yeah, like I just decided to take a stand. Enough was enough, and then I really did it for health reasons. I mean, you know my story, my journey, and then I mean, after feeling so good, hands down, it wasn't even an option for me. It became a lifestyle.
So, as far as weight loss, how rapid was your weight loss? My sister looked good, y'all.
You know, some people just looked at me and was like, wow. You know, for me, the first 20 pounds, I guess for me, I was just like, oh, okay, you know, it's all good.
So how long do you think it took you to lose the 20 pounds?
Oh, with about 2 months.
2 months?
Yeah. And
But
then,
that's without exercising or anything?
Without exercising. When I started incorporating exercise, boy, it got even better. And then I started toning up.
Now right now what she's doing is she's mixing up and binding the dry ingredients into each other, which is the nutritional yeast and the vital wheat gluten. Now she's getting her seasoning on with that. That's the one thing.
And I kind of just smell it, you know.
Yeah, of course. But that's the one thing, like, people feel like, what do vegetarians and vegans eat? Like, all y'all eat is fruits and vegetables. Oh, there's so much more out there. You'll be surprised. But if you really think about it, when you cook, like say we're having Sunday dinner, you always cook in sides, and then of course most people make the meat the main ingredient to the meal. If you just concentrate on all your sides and take out the meat, you're actually the first step in. But there's also other things the deeper you get into it, like sugars, some salts, you know, that are not good for you. But then that's all where you go into your research, because there are replacements for like sugars. Like if you're diabetic, one thing I can tell you is agave nectar is awesome. It doesn't spike up your sugar. It's sweet to taste, and it has a consistency of honey. Like Kenya said, the pink Himalayan salt, that's in place of your regular iodine salt. That is not as high as in iodine, and it's not, you know, not bad for you. But anything in moderation. Everything in moderation. So you have to find those replacements of things, because normally they say it's what, 21 days that your palate changes.
With any process, whether you're like start a spiritual journey or 21 days, it will change anything.
And that's my number, because my birthday's on the 21st of November. So I think I'm going to make a challenge. My sister's birthday is the 27th. Mine is the 21st. I think I'm going to start like on the 1st. I'm going to prep myself on the 31st, which I will be leaving here on the 1st, going home. So I'm going to prep myself on the 31st. And on the 1st, I'm going to start my spiritual journey. I think it's going to be with fasting. I think it's my first step, my fasting and meditation. Try to get, you know, some things in line. And of course, my diet is going to change. So my birthday, I want to, and that's going to be 21 days exactly. I want to see some changes in my life. Well, anyway, now she's doing the wet ingredients. So you added a little oil in there with the wet ingredients too?
And I'm going to do about a half a cup of water with it. I just kind of eyeball it. Or you can use it.
Oh yes, and also my niece works for Mountain Valley Spring Water. Glass, baby, glass. We'll have a video on that too, because maybe what we'll do is start collaborating, maybe doing Facebook Live, where we can pull each other into each other's videos and kind of talk about the different things on better health.
So one of the things that I totally can taste that I know that's missing is pepper.
Okay.
Like there is no pepper in the house, but it ain't gonna stop the show. We can add some to give it a
kind of a spiciness. Look, can you, is that salt?
Yeah, I'm good on salt because I have the soy. It's just like pepper. Pepper is what I know would like set it off. But I don't see no pepper.
Unless she used it all last night when she was making them greens. I'm sure I don't know. Anyway, we missing pepper. But we gonna make it happen.
Yeah, I had a little bit that I grinded and it's mixed up with
That's pepper, right?
yeah, but it's like not a lot. I would have used more pepper. But anyway, it is what it is.
Okay, so we're gonna go with it.
Alright, so we've got our dry ingredients, and like I said, I did like a half cup of water, and we're just gonna do a slow to build the type of batter we want. I usually go in the middle.
Look at that artistry in motion. You can tell she been putting in some work with this. So when you first did this, did you find videos on YouTube, or did you just Google it, or you have books on it?
Yeah, there's a couple of chefs that I follow on YouTube, or just videos and stuff. There's so much information out there that's free, and then one thing led to the next, so just kind of doing your own thing. But
so what happens if you put a little too much? But I know that you've been like doing this for a minute, so when you first started, was it trial and error? It's like you had like a bad batch and then you turn around and just add more dry ingredients to it?
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And so like I'm going to add a little bit more water to this.
Look at that. It's boiling, y'all. It's boiling. It smells good too. So what's the consistency as far as the texture that you're going for as far as feel? Because right now it almost looks like hamburger meat / chicken nugget chunkiness, meatball texture look.
Yeah, and then we gotta knead it just to make sure that all. But this is kind of what I go for right here. So we use. I mean, I'm gonna stop right there because it's kind of like what I like.
Now, also, as far as keeping the moisture in it, because it will dry out, right?
Yes and no, but we're moving pretty quick. Like I've never ran into that problem because I immediately give it attention, I guess you could say. Now, I'm gonna put my hands in it. Oh, excuse me, because we gotta do the kneading process.
Okay.
And I want to say, for me, gotta knead that. We will, and it, at least for 2 minutes.
Because basically it's flour, right? It just doesn't have all of the yeast in it. I mean, all of the starches in it. Which there are videos too that shows you how to take just normal white flour, but it's a process. Trust and believe. This with it being the vital wheat gluten, it's taking that extra steps out of it, where you have to put it in water, let it pull all of that out, and then take it and do it again until you get it to this consistency, which you saw. It didn't take all that for her to do.
Yeah. Well, and then if you read on the bag there, I mean, what is it? 80? What's the protein content of this? On the front.
75 to 80% protein.
If you eat meat just based on protein, you're missing out.
75 to 80% of protein from this. And it's no different like prepping it for like a Sunday meal, because you do all this even with meat. You season it and put the water, put this oil, the onion and all that. So it's like really not much of a different process.
And no animals harmed.
Right. And there's no bloody cleanup and all that mess. Trash ain't got to stink.
Salmonella, none of that.
Coli, none of that.
And you still don't have a nice bowel movement when it's all done.
And that's important. People don't realize, and I know this is like TMI, but no, real talk. Every time you eat something, you should be going to the bathroom. Like real talk. Even though most people are not regular, but once you change your diet, that does change. Not only do you have a better glow and your body starts to tighten up, what's on the inside, it shows on the outside. So I know, you be looking in that mirror sometime and you be like, look at them eyes, Lord. Look at that skin. Why am I breaking down? Why do I feel so tired? Why I got a headache? Think about everything you put in your mouth. Now, the one thing that I will say, people is like, oh, it's so expensive. It's not really that expensive. But if you think about it, what you spend going to a restaurant eating things that are not healthy for you, think about them hospital bills, because they triple.
Now you see how that is? I'm gonna have to add a little bit more flour to it because it's not I want it to kind of turn into like a dough ball a little bit more,
and it's more wet than it is dry.
So I probably should have just went with without adding that a
extra
little bit of
water.
Yeah, so I'm gonna add some more.
Hey, we're learning, so hey, that's what's up. This water is still boiling. It smells so good in here.
We'll turn it down to like a simmer once we
You know what it smells like? That Xanaran dirty rice or red beans and rice.
Really?
Yes, that smells so good. The wife might as well get ready because the sister finna start cooking this in the kitchen, honey.
Shoot, and when you think about the price, you may spend $20 on everything you need, but I mean, while you going down, like for me, it was like I could take $40 and go buy like $40 worth of meat, and then I can like spend $20 on the products
to make your meat,
to make my meat for the same amount, the bulk,
but much healthier.
Yeah.
And the difference is, you know exactly what's in it, where it came from, what it went through. It didn't have to die. It didn't have to be pumped up with antibiotics and all that extra. You know exactly what you're putting in your body.
Probably could have, like, I put a little bit too much oil over there, so that's why less oil here.
Right. But you put the oil into the wet ingredients before you put it into the dry.
But it's okay. It's still gonna turn out good.
Now, for today's meal, what are you going to be doing with it?
Well, I was gonna see what you wanted to do. I'm all for. I think we can get the carnivores in the family to most definitely eat my version of fried chicken. Always, this is a good. It goes over well with my peeps. That you see how it's like turning more to a dough ball.
Yeah.
Because we need it, and it's sticking together. This is like the perfect texture, like brains. We'll do the. We can do it two ways. We can
Oh, let's just do the chicken.
Let's just do the chicken.
But if you were, say, if you want to do it like as a steak, or even as a meatloaf, or even if it's a roast,
same process. Once it comes out of the brine for about 45 minutes to an hour, because it's gonna swell up twice the size, and then you would proceed to prep it like you would. Like for me, I will still do like a like for my country fried steaks. I'd still like once it comes out of the brine, it's did the thing for about 45 minutes. I'll slice it and then fry it and deep fry it just to get the crispy coating, and then cut up my onions, add my little water to create my own gravy, and it's good to go. Because technically it's already done. You're just taking it to the next level of flavor wise and what you look for in meat. Like when you was cooking, you just treat it the same, but except it's not gonna cook as long. Right. Once you reach that golden crisp color, you're done. Okay, so baking it, like if you were doing a loaf, once it comes out, you proceed to what I do, I put it in tin foil and treat it, season it, cover it, and I'll probably still go ahead and cook it, try, because I want it to get crispy, more so like bind better in the outside with a glaze where the onion, your seasoning stuff start caramelizing and stuff. Even in the oven, let it do its work. It's not gonna hurt it. It's not like you can really overcook it.
That's what I say. What's the cooking process for it if it's in the oven? If you was gonna do it like a roast or whatever.
To me, honestly, it you probably could get away with a minimum of 30 minutes, but I've actually done it longer than that. It still turned out good. Like if you would, even after it comes out of the water, if you would treat it like you would treat the meat, 45, an hour, it's fine. Just treat it the same.
So what's the time into the brine?
Like I said, I would say need a minimum of 2 minutes, but for me, because I add things and I know I'm trying to get that doughy, I'm going from the brains to the dough ball. If you've kneaded enough, then you know that the texture kind of changes. You probably sitting here watching it, you can tell. And we're gonna go ahead and go from there. If you were doing a loaf, you would probably want to go ahead at this point and shape it and then drop it. I'm telling you, foil is amazing how you can create shape. So like when I do sausages and things, I roll it and shape it that way. At this point though, since we're going to do like fried chicken, we're going to pinch off sizes so it'll separate by itself. Right. It's easier to handle once it's done.
And then once it comes out, then you can go ahead and flour it and fry it.
But like if I was doing burgers or something, I would just go ahead and drop it, and then once it swells up twice the size or larger, then I would cut it in slices, and then I take wax paper or whatever I got I'm working with, or foil. I will slice them, and then like when I'm storing it for freezing it or whatever, just the slice sizes that I want, and like slice foil, make my own burgers or whatever. Okay. So, well, we pretty much got the ball kneaded, ready to go. We're going to do a pinch off just for size wise, whatever, nuggets or whatever. But do keep in mind, this stuff will expand. So I'm probably going to go sizes like that and then just drop them. Because Keisha said we're doing fried chicken. So you kind of count your pieces out. You ain't seen nothing yet. So we want a 20 piece. Y'all want a 20 piece up here? Can
I get a 20 piece hot and spicy?
We can show barbecue, honey, whatever you want. The options are limitless.
And you see her getting several pieces off of just that. And how many cups was it that you used of the Vital?
We only did 1 cup.
So 1 cup is that was almost.
Remember I did 20.
Yeah, about 20 pieces off of 1 cup. As you can see, they are in there. Look at them cooking. And how long is this process?
This was gonna be like 45 minutes to an hour. We'll set it for we will. I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna cut them down to a simmer.
So this process, you need to put it on a simmer, like put it low.
Just really low. And timer. We'll set it for
an hour or 45.
45 would be fine.
Okay, so she's gonna set it for 45 minutes for this process. So I'm gonna stop the video at this point, and we're gonna have a part 2 of the good old stuff coming out and cooking it up. All right, thank y'all for tuning in. This is Key
and Classy K.
and I will be back.